I think this might be one of the most addictive focaccia. It smells incredible. A beautiful golden crust, soft and airy inside, with Parmesan herb butter running through every bite. Today I'll show you how to make the best same-day focaccia at home. Big, beautiful bubbles and a light open crumb. The method is simple, but the result feels special. Let's get started. First, let's measure everything. I'm using a digital scale today because weighing ingredients gives the most consistent results. If you're more comfortable with cups or ounces, that's completely fine too. Just use what works best for you. I'm using 600 grams of bread flour, which is about 21.15 ounces. To build flavor gently, I'm adding garlic powder. Just 1 teaspoon, nothing overpowering. It adds depth without stealing the show. If you prefer fresh garlic or confit garlic, you can absolutely use that later instead. Just keep in mind, fresh garlic is stronger. For salt, I'm using salt flakes, about 7 grams. Salt doesn't just add flavor, it balances the dough and brings everything together. Now, give it a quick mix. Once that's done, set it aside for a moment. Easy so far, right? Now let's measure the water. Today I'm using regular drinking water from the tap, no special treatment needed. For this recipe, I'm using 540 grams of water, which is about 19.05 ounces. Next comes the yeast. I'm using instant dry yeast, about 1.5 teaspoons or 4.5 grams. Instant yeast works perfectly here and doesn't need activation. If you're using active dry yeast, add it to warm water, whisk gently, and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes until it becomes foamy. That's how you know it's alive and ready. Now add the olive oil. This is one of the most important ingredients in focaccia. Olive oil gives you that beautiful golden crust, rich aroma, and the signature focaccia flavor we all love. Give the liquid mixture a good stir, just until everything is nicely combined. Now grab a large mixing bowl. Add the flour mixture. Pour in the liquid. Start mixing slowly. Today, I'm using a Danish dough whisk. It's perfect for dough like this, wet, sticky. As you mix, you'll notice it right away. This dough is very sticky. That's normal. Different flours absorb water differently. Higher protein flour can take in more water, so if your dough feels slightly tighter or looser, that's completely fine. You can always adjust with a little flour or water if needed. Don't worry about how it looks right now. Messy, lumpy, a little wild. Just make sure there are no dry patches hiding in the bowl. You can see it here. Sticky, loose. This is exactly what we want. That texture is what later gives us those beautiful big bubbles and that soft, airy crumb inside. Once everything is mixed, scrape down the bowl, cover it, and let the dough rest. You can rest it anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, depending on your kitchen temperature. In summer, it moves faster. In winter, it needs a little more patience. This rest is important. It allows the flour to fully hydrate and the dough to start building structure on its own. No kneading, no effort, just time doing the work. After about an hour, take another look at the dough. You'll notice it right away. It already looks smoother, more relaxed, easier to work with. This is the dough starting to come together. Now lightly wet your hands with water. It prevents sticking. Today we're going to build structure gently here. No kneading, just folds. For this recipe, we'll do total 3 rounds of stretch and folds, followed by 1 round of coil folds. Let's start with the first round. Take one side of the dough, gently stretch it upward, then fold it over toward the opposite side of the bowl. Rotate the bowl a quarter turn, and repeat. No rush here. These slow, simple movements strengthen the gluten naturally without tightening the dough. This is how we create a focaccia that's light, airy, and full of open texture inside. Once you've gone all the way around the bowl, cover the dough again. Let it rest for 30 to 45 minutes. When you come back, it's time for the second round. You'll already feel the difference. The dough is smoother now, more elastic, less sticky. Repeat the same gentle motion. Stretch, fold, rotate the bowl. Each fold is doing something important. It's trapping air, it's strengthening the dough, and it's building the foundation for those big irregular bubbles later on. This is exactly why I like using high-protein bread flour. It gives the dough strength without making it tough, and it helps focaccia hold its shape beautifully. Once the second round is done, cover the dough again and let it rest for another 30 to 45 minutes. Now comes the third and final round of stretch and folds. At this stage, the dough feels completely different. What started out sticky and loose now feels softer, smoother, and just a little bouncy when you touch it. As you lift and fold, notice how easily the dough stretches, almost silky. That's a very good sign. It means the gluten is developing strength without being overworked. Finish the folds, cover the dough, and let it rest for about 15 minutes. After this short rest, we'll switch to coil folds. Gently lift the dough from the center, allowing the ends to tuck underneath themselves. Repeat this a few times. Coil folds are perfect for high hydration dough. They keep the air trapped inside and protect the structure we've already built. Once you're done, cover the dough again and let it proof at room temperature for about 2 to 3 hours. Your kitchen temperature matters here. In a warm kitchen, the dough will rise faster. In a cooler space, it will take more time. Look at the dough now, soft, jiggly. This is what perfectly proofed focaccia dough looks like. You're looking for a dough that feels light, looks relaxed, and jiggles gently when you move the bowl. Small bubbles on the surface are a great sign. After about 2 hours, the dough has risen beautifully. Now let's prepare the baking tray. Line the tray with baking paper if it isn't non-stick. Then take a little melted butter and spread it evenly across the surface. This helps with flavor, and it also prevents sticking. Gently transfer the dough into the tray. Next, take some cold butter and slice it thin. Place the butter slices right down the center of the dough. Now comes the flavor layer. For the Parmesan herb mix, blend Parmesan with fresh herbs. I use thyme and rosemary. This combination works beautifully. The Parmesan adds richness, and the herbs bring a fresh, aromatic balance. This step alone takes focaccia to another level. Now fold the dough gently from both sides, bringing the edges toward the center, completely covering the butter. Take your time here. Ease it in slowly. Once folded, spread the dough out gently with light hands. No pressure. At this stage, the dough needs its final rise. Cover the tray loosely and let it rest for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. While the dough is rising, preheat your oven to 230 degrees Celsius or 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Now look at the dough. It has risen nicely, almost doubled in size. That's perfect. Before baking, drizzle some melted butter over the surface. Now gently dimple the dough. Press your fingers down slowly all the way across the surface. Once it's ready, place the tray into the oven. Before baking, pour a little water into the hot tray to create steam in the oven. This helps the bread open up and rise better. Bake for 22 to 25 minutes until the top turns a deep golden color and the bottom feels slightly crisp. While the focaccia is still hot, brush a little more melted butter over the top. The aroma is incredible. This Parmesan herb butter focaccia is impossible to ignore. The crust is crisp, the inside is soft and fluffy, and every bite is full of flavor. So, how was the recipe? I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with anyone who loves focaccia. And of course, subscribe for more delicious bread recipes. If you'd like to explore more focaccia ideas, you'll find plenty right here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy this beautiful focaccia.